morning Vic walked back into the glass towers, the city did not look like a battlefield. But inside him, it was. The same board that once celebrated him as the warrior CEO had called him back for one reason. The AI division was bleeding. Projects over budget, teams burnt out. Bright minds, strangely silent. After the retreat, Vic had thought the real battle was within. Today, he would discover that the outer war had only just begun. Welcome back. I'm Jessica, and this is Beyond the Battlefield, episode 44. Tonight, we step into one of the most misunderstood verses of the Gita, chapter 4, verse 13, where Krishna creates the four varṇas, and yet calls himself the non-doer. And we'll watch Vic walk into an office that no longer fits his soul. A warrior who discovers that even warriors can outgrow their armor. Vic stepped out of the elevator onto the 23rd floor. Same polished marble, same glass walls, same logo. But something was off. He walked past the open workstations of the AI sustainability division. Heads were down, shoulders tight, screens full of dashboards, but eyes empty. On one side, a senior manager barked into a headset, pushing deadlines like blunt weapons. On another desk, a quiet engineer sat with headphones on, lost in a maze of spreadsheets, cleaning data no one would ever thank him for. Near the window, a product lead paced in circles, phone pressed to his ear, promising launch dates his team could never meet. Vic's chest tightened, not from anxiety, from recognition. These weren't just overworked employees. They were miscast souls. Ankur, this is where verse 13 comes in, right? The verse about the four varṇas?
Exactly. This is the verse people misuse to defend birth-based caste. But Krishna is saying something far more scientific and far more dangerous to our
I created the four varṇas based on the division of qualities and actions. Know me to be the creator of this system, and yet understand that I remain the non-doer, immutable.
So he creates the system, but says, I'm not the doer. Isn't that convenient?
If it was any ordinary CEO, yes. I designed the structure, but don't blame me for the results. But Krishna isn't escaping responsibility. He's revealing what doing actually is and what we think it is. First, he says, I created 4 types of natural tendencies and works, based on gunas and karma. Not by birth, but by inner chemistry and outer expression. Second, in the very same breath, he says, even while all this happens through me, I remain akartā, non-doer. And that is where our minds stop.
Vic paused at a cluster of desks. On the left, Ria. Mid-20s, thick glasses, quiet eyes, whiteboard filled with equations. When she spoke, her words were precise, almost shy. She cared more about truth than credit. On the far side, Karan. Loud, charming, blazer half-buttoned. He dominated meetings, loved the spotlight, and pushed people hard for the vision. Near the center, Mihir. Spreadsheet open, cost models everywhere. His questions were sharp, transactional. What's the ROI? What's the margin? Who's paying? And in a corner, Sanjay. Head down. No noise, no drama. But every time there was a deployment, he was there late into the night, hands on the actual machines. Vic suddenly saw them, not as titles, but as gunas. Riya, sattva dominating, clarity, depth, inner ethics. A natural Brahman type, teacher, thinker, guide. Karan, rajas with a streak of sattva, courage, risk-taking, drive to protect outcomes. A kshatriya type leader, meant to stand at the front. Mihir, rajas tinted with tamas, hunger, calculation, trade instinct. A vaishya type nature, business, exchange, negotiation. Sanjay, tamas supporting rajas, grounded, steady, able to repeat and execute tirelessly. A shudra type essence, the strength that actually builds. They were not higher or lower. They were different fires, burning at different frequencies. But their roles were reversed. Riya was stuck doing menial data cleaning. Karan was making strategic decisions without real wisdom. Mihir was influencing architecture beyond his depth. Sanjay was invisible, though he carried the system on his back. The outer org chart was a spiritual mismatch. Ankur, I have to ask the question exactly like our listeners would. If Krishna says, I created these 4 varnas based on guna and karma, and then adds, even so, I am not the doer. How? He builds the system, he designs the diversity, and still calls himself akartā?
This is the knot, granthi, of the verse. Let's untie it slowly. First layer. Krishna is saying, कर्म से कर्ता का भाव पैदा नहीं होता. Action itself does not create the sense of I am the doer. The ego rides on top of action and claims ownership. Think of walking. You say, I'm walking. But if you watch very carefully, there is walking, steps, movement, balance. And there is a witness who simply knows the walking is happening. If you look within, you will never find a walker sitting somewhere inside your chest. You will find a body in motion and an awareness that knows it. Same with rain. Barish barasti hai is actually a redundant sentence. Rain means that which is falling. There's just the falling. No separate rain doer.
So the ego is like a false character layered on top?
Exactly. We say, I am hungry. But in truth, there is a body in which hunger arises and an awareness that knows hunger is present. You are not the hunger. You are the knower of hunger. So action happens. The doer image is illusion. Krishna, as pure consciousness, has no ego to ride the action. We, on the other hand, even when we do nothing, say, I am not doing anything. And we create a doer of non-action. The second reason Krishna is akartā, ego needs a second to exist. I can only stand against a you. मैं तभी बनता है जब तू हो. You notice, in deep crowd, ego inflames. On stage, in meetings, in comparison. Me versus them. In solitude, ego becomes thinner. In deep sleep with no dreams, there is no I at all, just a taste of peace. For God, for pure being, there is no second, no other to stand against. All this existence is his own extension. So where will a separate ego stand? The divine never says, that tree is not me. For him, everything is I. Like your hand is not you versus hand, your hand is you. When the whole is one continuous field, there is no corner where a separate doer can sit and pose. Third angle, a sculptor makes a statue. Once it's made, the statue exists separately. The sculptor can die. The statue remains. But a dancer and the dance, they cannot be separated. If the dancer stops, the dance stops. If the dance doesn't happen, dancer is just a word. Krishna's relationship to creation is not like sculptor statue. It's like dancer dance. Nartak or nritya. As long as the cosmic dance is moving, creator is meaningful. But the dance is not other than the dancer. So when Krishna says, I created the four varnas, yet I am non-doer, he is pointing to this. All this emerges from me, moves in me, dissolves in me, but I never become a separate ego inside my own dance.
So I can also act without being a doer if I remain in that witness?
Yes, that's the invitation. When you act from the witness, you become like the still center of a cyclone. Movement everywhere, zero at the core. Then work remains. Impact remains, but the one who says, Dekha maine kiya, starts dissolving. That's akartā.
Ankur, bring this right into leadership. How does this Varṇa Guna karma idea play out in Vic's office, in modern teams?
Look at his flaw. The Brahman nature, Riya, loves truth, analysis, teaching. She should guide architecture, ethics, long-term clarity. The Kshatriya nature, Karan, is built to protect the mission, take hard calls, stand between the team and chaos. The Vaishya nature, Mihir, is tuned to value, resources, partnerships, sustainability. The Shudra nature, Sanjay, is the grounded builder without whom nothing actually stands. In a conscious system, you don't rank them, you align them. But when a company ignores inner nature, you put Vaishya in charge of truth. They will manipulate numbers. You put Shudra at the strategic helm. They'll drown in abstraction. You bury Brahmana in repetitive work. They burn out in quiet despair. You give Kshatriya no real responsibility. They become destructive rebels. That's exactly what Vic is seeing. Leadership dharma in this verse is simple but ruthless. Do not hire just by resume. See their gun. Do not promote just by seniority. See their nature. Do not copy other org charts. Design for the souls you actually have. And most dangerous of all, do not cling to your own old varna when your inner chemistry has changed. That brings us back to Vic.
Vic sat at the end of a long glass table, the boardroom, the arena where he'd once dominated every discussion. Today, he felt strangely out of place. On the screen, metrics flashed, missed milestones, dropped clients, talent attrition. The chairwoman turned to him.
Vic, you know this division better than anyone. We need your assessment now. Who's in the wrong role? What needs to change?
Everyone looked at him, expecting the old Vic, the warrior who never hesitated, who cut through people and problems with equal force. But inside, something had shifted. He scanned the faces: Riya, Karan, Mihir, Sanjay, the management layer, the investors. In his mind, they weren't job titles anymore. They were fields of Guna. He could see sattva, rajas, tamas, swirling in different proportions. He could see how they could be placed to create harmony, and yet he hesitated, because another realization hit him like cold water. His own Guna had changed. There was a time when his rajas was like a roaring engine. He'd loved the fight. The long hours, the high-stakes negotiations, the rush of outsmarting competitors. He had been, in every sense, a Kshatriya leader of the company. But after the days in the valley, after the fire, the stillness, the mirror, he no longer felt like a warrior hungry for conquest. He felt more like a seer, watching the game. He cared more about clarity than victory, more about alignment than applause, more about the field than his position in it. His sattva had increased. His old varṇa identity didn't fit anymore.
What if I'm not the warrior they hired anymore?
Vic, we need to make some tough calls here.
Yes. Tell us. Who should stay? Who should move? Who should go? Tomorrow, we announce a restructuring.
Every eye turned to him. Inside, two voices spoke.
Come on, do what you always did. Take charge. Be the Kshatriya. Rescue this place. They need that Vic.
No, not by cutting heads, not from ego. See their nature. Align, don't attack.
Another, deeper whisper rose.
And you? What is your nature now?
So Vic is seeing exactly what Krishna described. Different varnas as different inner chemistries. Misalignment causing suffering. And the terrifying question, what if my varna has shifted? Ankur, how does a leader become akartā in this situation without becoming passive?
Great question. Akartā doesn't mean inaction. It means action without ego ownership. For Vic, the dharma here is 1. See clearly who is truly sattvic, who is rajasic, who is tamasic stable. Not judging, diagnosing. 2. Align roles. Move people closer to their nature. The sattvic mind to design and ethics. The rajasic heart to frontline leadership. The vaishya mind to value creation. The shudra strength to execution with dignity. 3. Act from witness. Make decisions, yes, but keep watching internally. Is this coming from fear or from clarity? He must be willing to move people, maybe even let some go, but without the inner ego story. Instead, seeing happened, action flowed. I was the channel, not the owner.
That's hard. Especially when everyone is looking at you to be the doer.
That's the real battlefield. To act fully while inwardly resting in the center that never says, I did. To restructure a division and simultaneously restructure your identity.
The chairwoman broke the silence.
Vic, we trust you. Give us a new structure by tomorrow morning. Names, roles, reporting lines. We'll execute.
Vic nodded, slowly. But inside, something was tearing. On one side, the old warrior, ready to slice through the org chart with surgical precision. On the other, the quiet witness from the mountains, who had seen fire, mirror, surrender, and knew that roles without nature are prisons. He walked out of the boardroom, down the silent corridor, and onto the balcony overlooking the city. Lights pulsed below like neurons firing in a giant brain. He placed his hands on the cold railing.
If Krishna can create the whole system and still remain akartā, can I redesign this division without losing myself again? And if every role must match its nature, then what about mine?
Tonight, we watched two battlefields overlap. On the outside, a division misaligned with its people's nature. On the inside, a leader misaligned with his old identity. Krishna's verse revealed that diversity is not a social accident. It is a cosmic design based on Guna and karma, on inner quality and actual work. When we ignore this, we don't just break productivity, we break souls. And yet, in the very same breath, Krishna whispered the secret of freedom. Even as all this arises through me, know me as akartā, the non-doer. Action without ego, structure without ownership, leadership without self-image. Maybe that's our challenge in the modern workplace, to stop forcing people into roles that betray their nature, to stop clinging to our old labels when our inner chemistry has changed, to design teams like sacred mandalas, each person placed where their guna can shine, and to live, like Krishna suggests, at the still center of our own movement, acting fully, but no longer pretending to be the absolute doer. In the next episode, we'll walk with Vic through the night as he sketches a new structure of roles, of responsibilities, and of his own calling. We'll see whether he chooses ambition or authenticity, ego or alignment, ownership or akartā. And if tonight's journey opened something quiet inside you, let that reflection ripple outward. If this episode touched you or helped you see your own nature with a little more clarity, share it with someone walking through their own inner battlefield. If you want to stay connected to every new insight we explore together, follow and subscribe so the next chapter reaches you the moment it's born. And if a question rose within you, or a realization, or even a gentle confusion, write to us anytime at beyondthebattlefield@outlook.in. We read every message, and your voice shapes where we go next. And don't forget, the GPT companion link for this episode is waiting for you in the description. Your space to explore deeper, reflect longer, and continue the journey beyond the audio. Like, share, subscribe, and stay close to the witness within you. Until then, keep watching your actions and the one who silently knows them. You are not just the one who works in the world. You are also the witness in whose light all work appears. I'm Jessica, and this is Beyond the Battlefield.